So I'm going to start recording now, and I'm going to pull up some notes. Okay. And I'll go into presentation. And now I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so right now I'm sharing my screen, and welcome everyone. So today we're going to be going over the potential benefits of a low sugar diet for individuals managing autoimmune diseases. And just really focusing on like the benefits of it and how it could be affecting our bodies. And while diet can't necessarily cure autoimmune diseases, research suggests that dietary modifications, including reducing sugar intake, can play a significant role in managing symptoms and improving overall well-being. First, we'll discuss what is inflammation, chronic inflammation, autoimmune diseases. So some topics that we went over on when we during our last meeting, but just we're going to review them again for everyone. And then we're going to discuss the importance of diet and the benefits of anti-inflammatory foods. And after that, I'll discuss the potential power of a low sugar diet for autoimmune disease management and also just for health. And after that, I'll demo a few smoothie recipes that do not use added sugar and are sweetened naturally with fruits and vegetables. And I'll also show you a few tips for keeping your green smoothies tasty. And just from all of this, and also from our meetup group, it's really just embracing a lifestyle where health and taste go hand in hand. So we're eating low sugar, anti-inflammatory, healthy foods that taste delicious, but are also nourishing for our bodies. And some of these slides will look familiar from our meeting the other day, but it's just for us just to review and also for new people here today too. And again, if you have any questions, please just let me know. So inflammation is a vital part of the body's immune response to injury and infection. And it's a complex biological process that involves various cells and molecules working together to protect the body. And inflammation can be acute, which is a short-term response to an injury or infection, or chronic, which can be harmful if it persists over time. And inflammation is often accompanied by one or more of the following symptoms. So redness, swelling, heat, and pain. And can you all see the slides okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. So chronic inflammation refers to a prolonged and dysregulated inflammatory response that persists even when the initial trigger, such as an infection or injury, is no longer present. And the ongoing immune system activation mistakenly attacks healthy cells, leading to various health concerns. And chronic inflammation signifies just an extended immune response that can damage the body's own tissues. And over time, this persistent state of inflammation can lead to the degradation of healthy cells, tissues, organs, and contribute to the development of chronic diseases, including heart disease, diabetes, cancer, and autoimmune diseases. And it's important just for us to just be aware of chronic inflammation and inflammation as we're talking about autoimmune diseases, just so we can understand what exactly is happening in autoimmune diseases. So in the context of autoimmune diseases, chronic inflammation plays a central role. And normally, the immune system protects the body from pathogens and foreign substances. However, in autoimmune diseases, the immune system mistakenly attacks the body's own healthy cells, thinking they're foreign invaders. And this misdirected immune response causes chronic inflammation as the body continuously tries to heal the perceived injury or infection, leading to symptoms and complications associated with autoimmune diseases. Like, for instance, like what we were talking about for chronic inflammation, just like the persistent inflammation in the case of an autoimmune disease that's like flaring up in like not being managed or treated could be like it could damage affected organs over time and exacerbate the disease. Like so, just to summarize, like autoimmune diseases occur when the body's immune system mistakenly attacks healthy tissues, leading to inflammation. And like, studies have shown that high sugar consumption can worsen inflammation by activating inflammatory pathways and promoting the production of inflammatory markers. Conversely, a low sugar diet has been shown to have anti-inflammatory effects, potentially reducing the severity of symptoms and improving disease outcomes. So research has shown that there could be a link between our diet and autoimmune health, and that some foods may worsen symptoms or trigger flares, whereas other foods could be more nourishing and healing and help with managing an autoimmune disease. But this is all really complex and it's like actively being researched and understood. But research does show that there could be this like link to it, but we're all so different. So a food that affects one person like might not affect someone else. So now we're getting into sugar and autoimmunity, and high sugar intake can exacerbate inflammation, which is a hallmark of autoimmune diseases. So a low sugar diet can help reduce inflammation and potentially alleviating symptoms and decreasing flare-ups. And like studies have shown that high sugar consumption can worsen inflammation by activating inflammation pathways and promoting the production of inflammatory markers. Like as we are just going over earlier, just with like how diet can affect you. So high sugar intake can have several detrimental effects on the management of autoimmune diseases, primarily due to its impact on inflammation, immune system function, and overall disease activity. So here's why reducing sugar consumption is often recommended and it can help with managing autoimmune conditions. So these are just a few of the benefits. Like one is reduction in inflammation. So as we discussed, like autoimmune diseases are characterized by an immune system that mistakenly attacks the body's own tissues, causing inflammation, but high sugar can exacerbate this. Another benefit is improved immune function. Like excessive sugar consumption can impair immune function, making the body less effective at fighting infections and regulating immune responses. So by reducing sugar intake, like individuals with autoimmune diseases like might experience improved immune system functionality, which is crucial for managing their conditions. There's also the benefit of better gut health. Research has shown that there is a connection between gut health and the immune system, and a high sugar diet could disrupt the gut microbiota balance, leading to dysbiosis or increased intestinal permeability, known as leaky gut, or often referred to as that, and further immune dysregulation. Whereas a low sugar diet can support just a healthier gut microbiome, which research has shown is could be like, essential for autoimmune disease management. And also just by having like a low sugar diet, it could help like, with stabilizing blood sugar levels. And fluctuations in blood sugar levels can trigger inflammation and hormonal balances, and that could affect autoimmune disease symptoms. So maintaining stable blood sugar, like through a low sugar diet, can help manage these fluctuations, reducing potential triggers for autoimmune responses. And also with like this is more stabilized blood sugar levels, it can just help with like energy levels and also overall like well-being, because just having like sugar spikes has been shown to impact like mood and just like your energy levels, and can just like make you have like a better quality of life, especially for us like with the autoimmune diseases. And also just with like having a low sugar diet, it can like lead to oh, sorry, I think I used to on the screen, Trish. Um, oh, Trish, did you mean to draw?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I didn't even
Okay,
realize it.
okay. Oh, no worries.
I was
Yeah, so
moving
again,
my device and
I
I
wonder
must
if you
have
had any
tapped it.
questions.
No, sorry for the interruption.
Oh, no, not at all. No worries. Um, yeah, so another thing too could just be like with like higher sugar consumption could also like lead to like an excess in weight. So by decreasing our sugar consumption or having a lower sugar diet could help us with not having, or with like could help prevent like weight gain, or like a high sugar intake is often linked to weight gain. So adopting a lower sugar diet can just help with weight management, reducing stress, and just improving like, autoimmune disease outcomes. And um, I'll stop presenting for one moment and I can, okay, yeah, let's present again. Okay, yeah, and then, so, and another benefit too, just for like comorbidities, like with having a lower sugar intake, it can help with the prevention of that. So that could be just because because also individuals with autoimmune diseases are at a higher risk of health conditions such as cardiovascular disease and like type 2 diabetes, or so like a low sugar diet can help mitigate these risks. So just like in summary from this, just like a low sugar diet is crucial strategy for managing, can be a crucial strategy for managing autoimmune diseases and could help with mitigating inflammation and immune function. And something else I just wanted to note too is just going over like added sugars versus natural sugars. So in the context of autoimmune diseases, the focus on a low sugar diet does include being mindful of both added sugars and natural sugars, like in fruits. And like the goal is really just to reduce inflammation and manage symptoms, and also overall, like support your overall health without missing out on nutritional benefits that fruit offers. So it's really just about like finding a balance, and just like really it's kind of considering more just the whole sugar intake and emphasizing whole nutrient dense foods, but also food that is tailored to like, your health needs and your body's responses. So something I wanted to go over too, since we've been talking about sugar, is just the difference between table sugar and also the sugar that we've found in fruits, and how they could be like how they affect our health. So fructose and sucrose are the two prevalent sugars like, in our diet, and they each play a unique role in nutritional intake and metabolic processes. So fructose is a saccharide. So it's a natural sugar found in like fruits and honey and vegetables. And its presence in whole foods often comes bundled with essential nutrients like fiber, minerals, vitamins, and they can help like provide a balance. So that providing a balanced intake can help mitigate some of the adverse effects that come with sugar consumption. So, for instance, like the fiber in whole foods like slows down the absorption of fructose and promotes a feeling of fullness and satiety, which can like help us with our health. So, like managing weight and also preventing overeating. On the other hand,
How about fake sugars?
Yeah.
Like sweet and low or I can't even remember, Splenda.
oh yeah, that's a really great question. Yeah, so for those ones, from how I understand it, like they don't necessarily cause like a spike for your blood sugar. They're not like, affecting you in that way. But I know for that, like some other effects is like some people can be sensitive to those ingredients, or and I know there's some research that shows that it could be like, affecting your also affect like your gut microbiome. But from what I understand, like those don't necessarily cause like an uptake in like your glucose levels as fruit or table sugar would.
Thank you.
But yeah, if anyone else also like has like any thoughts on that, yeah, please let me know, or please feel free to share. Yeah. Do you like having those types of sugars too? Because I know there's also like stevia and like monk fruit.
I like
Hey
I
there.
like a lot of sweet things, so
Mhm.
My brother, who's
Hi there.
diabetic, uses some of those alternative sugar sources.
Yeah. It's great for that. Like, yeah, from my understand, because yeah, it's not like gonna like, spike your blood sugar in like the same, if at all, or in the same way, compared to the other ones.
Hi, could I ask a question about the artificial sugars?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you could hear me.
Okay, I can. Hi.
Yeah. Oh, great. Hey. So yeah, I think this is a great discussion. I was just diagnosed with insulin resistance, and I've been working with my dietitian to figure out which foods are spiking me. And of course, like all of us, we love our coffee and our, sugar in our tea and whatever. Um, so I'm sort of struggling with this issue too. Like Truvia, is another one that I found that I think is like based off of the stevia leaf. It doesn't taste as bad as stevia, which is nice.
Mhm.
But I am concerned about, um, some of these more artificial types of sugars that maybe don't spike blood sugar, but can maybe lead to other health effects. Like I don't know where I heard this, but I thought I heard that Splenda, was like potentially carcinogenic in some ways. So I don't know if you're gonna touch on that later, or if you would sort of suggest that we stick with more of the fruit sugars like the monk fruit. Um, yeah, I was just curious what your thoughts were.
Um, yeah, um, yeah, that's a really great question. Like for that, I would definitely like say, like I don't fully like don't necessarily want to like give advice or tell you what to do, especially since you're working with your dietitian. And I know they know you best, or you know yourself best, but just like what works for you and your body. So I definitely don't want to like overstep that. But yeah, for that stuff, I've looked into that. So just as like like person to person, like what I've understood, or I've looked into it too. Because I've also like have had a lot of artificial like sugars, and um, I don't like have that anymore. But like I've heard they're mixed results, because it's like yeah, some people say from studies that it is fine because it is like still like on like the supermarket shelves, and it is like recommended to have for some people. So like there's that. But like I know that they but I know like there's like some research or people talk about yeah, just like how it can be affecting your body. And yeah, but yeah, potentially being like harmful. But yeah, I'm not really sure you know what to about that. Like in terms of like, any like kind of what to say to that. But I have like had like stevia before. I used to use Splenda, but then I switched to stevia, but now I just like don't have stevia either. But I used to like stevia, and I know that they say that's like from a plant. So
Hmm.
yeah, I'm sorry, it's like not really helpful at all.
No, it is. Thank you. I think this is a question I think a lot of people are trying to navigate. So thank you for your
Yeah,
response. But
no, it's hard, and I think like one of the changes that I made that, and it was hard, was eventually it's kind of like changing my taste buds. Like now, like it's like just like not adding sugar to things, or I was
okay.
doing things like adding it, changing like my day. So I kind of like after 4 p.m. like I won't add like any more stevia to my food. And then like okay, like a few days later or maybe weeks later, like after 12 p.m. I won't add stevia to my food to kind of make the window smaller and smaller. To then just to like eventually omit it and then just kind of just like change my habits and my diet like gradually.
That's a great point. Yeah, we could change our taste buds just a tiny little bit. And I just wanted to say that my dietitian wasn't crazy about any of these alternatives, although she
Yeah.
did say stevia was good.
Okay.
But then they recommended allulose,
Okay.
which they were excited about, but I had a really bad reaction to it. So
Mm,
unfortunately it didn't work for me. But anyway, I'll let you continue. Thank you.
okay. Wow. Um, well, yeah, thanks for asking that and bringing that up. Yeah, I think it's really important too to get to talk about like artificial sugars and then I think that too gets to the idea that we're all just so different. Like something that an artificial sugar that works for one person might not work for someone else.
Just to jump on Evelyn's question about the artificial sweeteners,
Mm.
they do, yes, some of them do cause some of them are carcinogenic. And I know the FDA did some follow-up studies to say that no, they are not cancerous.
Mm.
But at the same time, there is caution about artificial sweeteners just because it can increase your craving for sweetness. So I
Okay.
don't a really bad rep. And yes, all these studies were done in animals, so they're not too sure about it in humans. But
Mm.
I guess as oh my gosh, I forgot your name, Rebecca. Is it Rebecca?
Yeah,
Yes.
Rebecca.
As Rebecca said, you can always train yourself to not crave sweetness as much. But I mean, it's hard. I mean, everybody likes sugar. It's really
Mm.
hard. I've tried using date syrup as a sugar substitute. Eventually, I stopped because I never had that strong craving for sugar, so it was easier for me to stop. But I know I'm like one of the few, but I'm not sure if you want to try. I think it was date syrup. It's like date is naturally sweet, and I know it also has a low glycemic index, so it doesn't spike your sugar levels as much. And I think in date syrup, the only ingredient is dates. There's nothing else.
Wow, thank you, Trudy. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. And yeah, dates, that's a really great idea too, to include that. Yeah, I'd like to add dates or make date syrup or like, yeah, like soak dates for a while and then like add them to dishes.
Thanks, Trudy. That's a great idea. I'm going to look into that.
You're welcome.
But yeah, because also like just like sugar, it's just so widespread and we use it in so many things and it does taste so good and so yeah, it's really it is hard, like challenging finding like different alternatives, but also like yeah, changing like our taste for it, or then eventually kind of leaning more into like whole food options. So just so, does anyone have any other questions about that or about artificial sugars or anything we've talked about so far? So now we're just going to go into welcome, Lorna. So just to go over just like sucrose, so common table sugar. So that's what's found in many processed foods. And it's so it's a disaccharide, and it's composed of like one glucose and one fructose molecule. So this is different from the fructose in that so it doesn't like also include like the vitamins and the minerals and also the fiber from fruit. And the health of excessive consumption of particularly table sugar, for instance, just like highlights another layer of it. And so like sucrose, it rapidly breaks down into its component sugars, which just leads to a quicker absorption and immediate spike in blood glucose levels. And these spikes can have various health implications, particularly when sucrose is consumed in large amounts and also frequently. And just like having just excessive sugar, it can just affect blood glucose levels, which can like lead to like potential like health conditions like when they're not moderated. And Lorna, welcome. I'm just gonna I kind of hear some sounds coming from you. If you don't mind, I'll just mute you for a second, but unmute like you have any questions or comments. It's so great to see you. So the goal is just to maintain like a balanced diet and that limits added sugars while like still enjoying just the nutritional benefits of whole foods. And just understanding the nuances between fructose and sucrose, I think is key for when just making informed dietary choices. And just like looking at like nutrition facts or the ingredients label on foods, and just like when you look at food, it'll show you like the sugar total, but also it'll show you like the added sugar as well. So just becoming just more aware and just really striving for a balance that really emphasizes, like supports your health and well-being. And something I wanted to talk about too is that there's a doctor, Dr. Goldner, who really focuses on like helping people with autoimmune diseases, with reversing their diseases and managing them. And she really emphasizes for having a lot of vegetables and eating whole foods. So her protocol includes like minimizing your fruit intake, like really consuming a lot of omega-3s, doing like a high raw like vegan diet. So it's really just whole foods. And she recommends like a pound a day of like nutrient dense veggies, which like, can seem like a lot. And she recommends too, like if you're having this in a smoothie, because it is a lot of vegetables, but you can combine it in a smoothie, which can make it just be easier to take or to have, as opposed to just eating like a whole bunch of salads throughout the day. And she recommends that it's 75% like veggies and then 25% fruit, and really just adding the fruit for taste. And also she recommends like consuming a lot of water. So at least like 96 fluid ounces of water. So just like the benefits of having like green smoothies is that they're nutrient dense, they have anti-inflammatory benefits, and just green smoothies can be a great way of just getting a lot of vegetables in your day. And because the green smoothies will contain like vegetables, just like compounds that help reduce inflammation, which can be a key factor in autoimmune disease management. And also they can be high in fiber when we make our smoothies, and that can promote a healthy gut microbiome. There's like natural detoxification with just like the vegetables that we're having. And also they're just really delicious and versatile. Like it's convenient, and there's so many options of things you can do for making your green smoothies tasty. And something that Dr. Goldner talks about for her smoothies, or also just for her diets, is just having a lot of like dark leafy greens and cruciferous vegetables. So like dark leafy greens such as like kale, spinach, Swiss chard can be highly beneficial for autoimmune health due to their rich nutrient profile, and they're packed with vitamins like A, C, K, as well as minerals like iron and calcium, which support its immune function and overall health. And the high antioxidant content in these greens like helps combat oxidative stress and just reduce inflammation, which is crucial for autoimmune conditions. So here are some examples of dark leafy greens. And then also, in addition to dark leafy greens, there is a lot of overlap between dark leafy greens and cruciferous vegetables, like for instance, like kale. It also, cruciferous vegetables also contains a lot of fiber, so it can just promote gut health, which it's helpful for like autoimmune management and just having a healthy gut microbiome. So cruciferous vegetables, like that includes broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, and can offer significant benefits for autoimmune health, like due to just how many nutrients they have, and being packed with also vitamins. And has also been proven to reduce inflammation and promote gut health, especially with this like compounds like sulforaphane, which are found in cruciferous vegetables. It has been proven to have anti-cancer and also anti-inflammatory properties. And also cruciferous vegetables can help with, could potentially help with just modulating the immune system, just to keep it healthy and potentially prevent the body from attacking its own tissues. So here are some examples of some cruciferous vegetables. And now we can get into making some smoothies. And I'm done with like the presentation part. Does anybody have any questions about what we went over so far?
Hi, this is Evelyn.
Hi.
Oh yeah, I did have a quick question, and it's okay if it's not part of this program. And so I know that the word like low sugar, sugar free gets thrown around a lot, and I guess I just don't understand um, you know, what's sort of a number that I can kind of use as a threshold, right? So like I'm reading labels, and I'm reading added sugars, and so I'm trying to figure out like, and then of course the carbs come into it too. So if you're having like high carbs, that converts into quick sugar. So it's really like even more sugar. Um, so I don't know if maybe you have another presentation, or maybe you could just say a couple of words about like maybe what's a good number to kind of like use as a hook when you're trying to kind of keep it low sugar for the day, right? Like, should it be not more than 50 grams, or like, I need a number.
Yeah, that's a great question, because that's actually something that I myself have been looking into too. As I've been going into like just eating more low sugar, and also been preparing for this presentation, and I have not been able to find like a number, like a solid number in terms of like all sugar from, I think, like the American Heart Association, I think, or what they recommend is like no more than 6 teaspoons per day of added sugar for women. And then for men, it's no more than 9 teaspoons a day of added sugar. So I think that's like 36 grams for men. And then that's for women, that's 25 grams of added sugar. So that would be like table sugar. But I don't think from what I've read, there isn't like necessarily a number they say for when you have sugar in like whole foods. because yeah, that sugar is different than table sugar. This is more like looking at added sugar to ingredients. But like with that, like this is like more like personal, like kind of like my own like numbers that I've like I think kind of worked for me, is that when I'm looking at like certain, so I really try not to like buy like packaged foods that have like added sugar in it, like just personally. I really try to only eat my sugar from like fruits and vegetables. I've and then if it's like if I'm eating it from a fruit, or if I'm eating it from a fruit, I in like one sitting, I try to make it not be like more than like 20 grams of sugar. So that could be like almost like a banana and a half or something. So it's just trying to like like if just like kind of eating at one time. Or another thing I do though that helps me is just not eating the sugar alone. Like if I'm eating a fruit, like also eating it with a source of fat and like protein. Like that helps me like personally with like sugar spikes. So like eating my sugar like at the end of like a meal, or eating like my fruit at the end of a meal, or making sure I have like some sort of like fat or protein before, if that's like nuts or something. So like for these recipes, I try to keep them just like below like 20 grams, like in a serving of them. So just using like minimal fruit, just try to keep it low. Yeah,
That's super helpful.
is that helpful? Okay. Okay. Yeah. But I really think everything really depends like on the person, too, because I know like, because yeah, some foods can just have like more sugar in it, but some foods have a lower glycemic index, like berries or like apples, in comparison to fruit like pineapple, for instance. Or yeah, there's some fruits just kind of have this like have more sugar. Or like bananas. We will use banana today too, but yeah, just kind of was kind of like having lower sugar food.
So just to kind of if I'm understanding what you're saying, so like so let's say I have 25 grams total of table sugar per day and approximately 25 grams like the rest of the day. So that's around 50 grams of like sugars. That's somewhat okay, or at least a good number to strive for or to look at.
Yeah, I'm not sure about like the numbers, and I wouldn't, yeah, I want to necessarily give like tell someone like particular numbers, but I think it depends on you. But from what I understand, it's like I think like what's recommended is like, yeah, whole foods, it's okay, like you can just have like however much you want, but it's just more of like the actual like white table sugar, like you want to limit that, or like refined sugars.
Got it, got it. Awesome. Thank you. That's very helpful. I will
Yeah.
experiment with that and see how it goes.
Yeah, I think like adding more fruit, it's definitely as a process, because like I know for me, like yeah, I like to have like fruit for dessert. So, but that's definitely like been a process. Whereas before, I might have like wanted just more to have like ice cream, but then when I have fruit, like it's really delicious, but also I'm just like more fiber with it, or and eventually also just like changing my taste. So, and not like, and it was a transition. Like I remember I used to like growing up, would always like add like sugar to my oatmeal, but eventually like changing and like adding less and less, and eventually like, no sugar in my oatmeal. Just making those changes, and then you can just start to reduce like the amount of like added sugar you're having in a day. And then, but then also replacing that sugar with like adding just banana to your oatmeal instead, which is different than like the table sugar, and it's a whole food.
Oh, wow, right.
So I think the recommendation then like for that is more of like, yeah, just really leaning into the whole foods. But I don't know them like off the top of my head, but I think for like I don't forget what the name of the organization is, and if it's like the American like Diabetes Foundation or association, they also have recommendations for like, yeah, the amount of carbs like you're having per day. But I don't know those ones off the top of my head.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Yeah, please like yeah, keep asking questions, and just yeah, any comments anyone has, just please, yeah, please share them. I'm just seeing like the meeting chat. Yeah, thanks so much, Trish, for adding that. So today I'm going to be showing 3 different types of smoothies. I'm going to be making a beet and cauliflower one. Also, I'll make a kale smoothie and then a collard greens one. And for these smoothies, the emphasis is on cruciferous vegetables, which we're talking about like the benefits of them. But these on their own, like especially maybe the kale and the collard greens, might taste kind of like bitter to someone. But we're gonna go over tips just to really just like hide that bitterness taste from them, and they'll be really delicious and really just using like enough sugar for taste. And then you can always like make these your own by adding maybe you want to add some more fruit, or maybe eventually you want to start like adding like less and less fruit to it. So first we'll make a beet and the cauliflower one, and then kale and collard greens. And then I'll also just share some tips. So for instance, I have this cauliflower here. So I cut this up last night and I put it in the freezer overnight, and then I'm just taking it out today for this, and I'm gonna blend it in my smoothie. And this is a way so you don't necessarily need to include banana. Like a lot of times like smoothies will have a lot of banana in it or frozen banana, and the frozen banana makes it sweeter, but also it can just like make your smoothie more creamy. But instead I'll be just using frozen cauliflower and also adding more cruciferous vegetables to the dish. And just like a few tips about freezing cauliflower is that so I just froze this like last night and I'm using it today. So I didn't blanch it at all, but it's recommended that if you're going to like freeze your vegetables and for like long-term use, to blanch them first, just to kill any bacteria, and also kind of like it's like stop all like the enzymes that will make the fruit continue to ripen and potentially like go bad eventually. So you can just blanch them instead and pat them dry and then toss them in the freezer. But I just did this overnight, so I didn't blanch them or anything. And in my other dish, I'm going to be using.
Sorry,
Mhm.
can I interrupt you? Sorry.
Yeah, no.
Can you just so just to make sure I got that part right, because that's awesome about the cauliflower. When you say blanch, do you mean just like boil it for like a minute, or like what do you mean by that?
Yeah, exactly. It's like boiling it for like 50 seconds and then like throwing it and then like tossing it in like ice cold water.
Oh, okay. And then putting it in the freezer. Okay, got it.
Yeah, and then putting it in the freezer. Yeah, exactly that. And that's a great thing too in the summer. Like if you like, I know like I like to like grow zucchini, or I have like grown zucchinis in the past, and I can get so many of them. So same thing with the zucchini, just like with the cauliflower, just like blanch it. It's like less than a minute. It's not that much time, and then just toss it in a bowl of cold water, and then pat it dry, let it dry, and then eventually freezing it. There are a few options with the freezing too. Like you can put them just on like a cookie sheet or a baking sheet, and then just freeze them on a single layer, also putting parchment paper underneath it. And then once it's like frozen, like maybe like about 2 or 3 hours later, then like tossing it in like your freezer bag. So it doesn't get all like stuck together in one big clump when you eventually when you want to take out some of the frozen pieces. So I'm doing that for these two. So I did that for the cauliflower and the zucchini, and it's so and you could like also include raw cauliflower and zucchini, but it's nice doing this because they don't need to add like add ice per se, and still keep your smoothie like cold, which will make it like taste good. Oh yeah, Karen, I see your message about Dr. Berg. Yeah, I like his content. I don't think I've seen his sugar videos yet, or maybe I don't know how many. I've maybe seen 1 or 2, but yeah, I'd love to see more of them. Yeah, see what he has to say. Yeah, Dr. Berg is a doctor who makes like a lot of content on social media about just about like eating whole foods and just really using like whole foods and nutrition like for our health and well-being. So now just to start with our yeah, I'll start with making the beet smoothie now. And for that, I'm going to be using some beets. Also, I'm going to be using frozen berries and mint leaves. And I found that adding mint leaves is another really great way to like break the taste of green smoothies. It makes them not be like as bitter. And also something I'm going to be using in all of these smoothies is lemon juice. And I think lemons are also a really great ingredient to include in your green smoothies. And it really just helps, really cut the taste, and it just doesn't, it makes them like just, to me, like it does not taste bitter. It's really amazing. And I'm also including water. And for this one, I'm going to be also adding chia seeds. And all these smoothies, I'm going to be including a source of fat, and they're going to be like omega-3, so chia seeds or flax seeds. So I'll just start with the beet one. I'm just going to get my beets out. And also stop sharing.
Just a quick question on the lemon juice. You
Hmm.
just like squeeze like a whole lemon into the blender? That's what you're gonna do?
Yeah, I like to squeeze a whole lemon in the blender. Also, I have this product. I'm just gonna go into my fridge. I'll be right back. I like this. I think I learned about like this ingredient actually from like one of Dr. Goldner's like videos. I'll just bring it closer. It's just like lemon juice like in a bottle, and I like to have this like as like backup. If I'm ever out of lemons, I always like try to have at least like one of these in my fridge for like adding to my green smoothies. And it's just lemon juice, and I can also write it down and send it to you.
Thanks.
So for this, I'm going to be using, and let me know if you can't hear me, okay? Just check my headphones out. Is my audio okay still?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So I'm using for this, I'm going to be using about like 2 beets. Like you could use like one like really large beet. Of my scale here. Yeah, this is about like 227. So I would say between like kind of around like a little between like 250, 200 for this recipe is what I usually use for beets. And I'm also going to be using about like a cup of frozen berries, but you could also use less. I would like I think for today, since these beets are what I have here is a little bit on the smaller side, I'll probably use closer to 3/4 of a cup, but I'll send the recipe to you all like with like the beet weight and yeah, the info on that. So I'm just gonna get my frozen berries from the freezer. So here I just have some frozen berries, and then I also just took out some mint leaves too. So right here in my blender, I'm adding also about 200 grams of frozen cauliflower. And then about a cup of these. So I've added to my blender a cup of the berries. I'm adding some mint leaves right now that I have. And this is really just to help with the taste. And I think mint makes it gives it a really refreshing taste. And now I'm adding the juice of 1 lemon. Like before learning about Dr. Goldner's like emphasis on cruciferous vegetables, but also just like learning more about cruciferous vegetables like for health from like other doctors and books. Like I never added like cauliflower to like my smoothies or um I would eat it, but I didn't really make an emphasis of it in my diet. But now I really try to like eat more of it and yes, it's really fun. Like there's like so many recipes you can do with it and different ways you can just incorporate the ingredients and and what you're doing. Oh, so also right now, I just brought up my cutting board. I'm chopping up my beets. So I don't peel my beets usually, but that's an option. You can peel them.
Do you scrub it or like rinse it?
Yeah, I tried. Yeah, I guess I try to do that. But
Okay.
I guess it still does kind of stay pretty like dirty. But yeah. How do you like to make your beets?
I like to make them like that. I have m- baked them before.
Mhm.
And I put them in smoothies before, but like I used to when I've done it, I peel it. So I'm gonna try it like this.
I like it. It does like give it a more earthy taste. But yeah, I usually leave like the skins on and but yeah, sometimes like when it's like especially dirty, like yeah, usually when I get it from the store, it is pretty dirty and like I need to rinse it more. But yeah, sometimes for me also like depends too. But
Okay.
I should like get like a scrubber to scrub them really well. Or I've seen those like
Is,
vegetable scrubbers.
is there any need to blanch it at all, like the cauliflower? Because maybe it's like hard, or does it smooth pretty well in the
Yeah, well,
blender?
this is for the for blending it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, for me with this blender, I'm able to just put it in raw, but it is pretty hard. So I would say it depends on like what blender you're using and how powerful it is.
Mm.
I like to also get there's like I don't know if it's called like I Love Beets or something. There's like a brand I get at the supermarket that's beets that are pre-cooked and they're in like a sealed bag and they last like a long time, like a while in the fridge. And I've added that to smoothies too. So those were like already cooked. But these raw ones I'm able to add to my smoothies, but I've also used just cooked beets in my smoothies. And I think that's a really good idea to get them really like pureed too and like softer.
Oh, that's so funny. I actually bought the I Love Beets, and I was like looking at them, and I honestly didn't know what to do with them. So I think I'm gonna have to put them in a smoothie today.
Yeah, go for
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah, I really like that brand. It makes it a lot easier. It's like yeah, cooking beets can be like pretty intense.
Yeah, I've also used like canned ones too, like the no salt added
Mm,
canned ones.
yeah.
And I like using the juice and I like pour it in there too.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I like beet juice. I think it's pretty tasty too.
Me too. I want to try beet juice like and pomegranate juice together.
Oh, I haven't tried that. I think that'd be so delicious. In my go-to, a lot of times it's like beets and like apples or like beets and orange or beets, orange and
Yeah.
carrot. At that, like make juices with that. Like love beets. Beets and ginger, that's also really good.
Yes, it is.
Right now, I'm just still just chopping the beets into just little cubes just to toss into my blender. So I just put the beets in here. Now I'm gonna add some lemon. So I just added some lemon too. And I'm gonna now also add some water. I'll put this away. Let's bring out some flax. We'll use this one too.
How much of the mint leaves do you add?
I just added like about like maybe like 5. My mint leaves are pretty dry, so I actually kind of use them up actually. But I like to add like at least like 4 or 5 or more.
Okay.
With the taste.
Rebecca, instead of water, have you ever used, I guess, tea brew tea for your liquid? So I don't really, for me, I think water sometimes for some smoothies is kind of makes it kind of too watery. So usually I brew tea, just let it cool, and then I use that as my liquid for my smoothie. So it would be mint tea, or I use green tea a lot. Sometimes I don't like the taste of green tea by itself. So I just add it, I just brew a concentrated tea, and then just add that to my smoothie. Or thyme leaves, I even brew thyme leaves.
Wow, I have never done that. I haven't done that to like my smoothies before. I've like added like brewed tea to like other dishes, but I haven't done that. And that's a really great idea. Like I need to do that. I'd love to do that. Yeah, thanks so much for sharing that. And I love looking at time tea. That sounds really good too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love using thyme as a herb, but I never use it as a like I never brewed it. But I saw online that it's a really good anti-inflammatory. So
Mm,
I said I don't like the tea, but I will definitely just brew it and put it in a smoothie and just add things to cover the taste.
yes. Oh, that sounds so good. Oh, and yeah, I have some time in my fridge too, so I'll like definitely need to do that this weekend. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, like herbs, yeah, those are also just really incredible for our health too. And it's fun, I think, adding this more and like adding them to different dishes. These are just some chia seeds. This is probably about a quarter of a cup that I soaked. And you can see like they get really gelatinous. And you don't need to soak them if you're gonna add them to your smoothie necessarily, but yeah, I like to soak them and like just did. So it's kind of adding a bit more bulk, but they'll all get just blended in when we just turn this on. And this is like a source of omega-3s. Dr. Goldner, she talks a lot bit more just having like ground chia and like ground flax. So another thing I like to do for my chia, especially if I'm just eating it as like a porridge, is I'll grind it in here first. And then I'll like add it to a liquid and like have it as a porridge. So we see it becomes like really thick, the chia. Let's add a bunch of chia seeds.
Do you taste a difference making it with the soaked chia seeds as opposed to just adding the chia seeds dry?
Like I've noticed more of just like a kind of like a bulkiness depending on how I'm adding it. Like I've done it where I don't blend it in and I just kind of pour and mix it in the chia,
Mhm.
and then it gets like a bit more like kind of like thick. I've noticed, and I can like more eatable, but I haven't really noticed like a flavor taste. But I can I'll pay more attention to that. Like yeah, that's a really good question.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean like the flavor. I meant just like if it's thicker this way or
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, I've noticed it gets like thicker this way for me.
Okay.
Do it like that. It still uses like the same amount of water, but I've noticed, yeah, I think that's what I've noticed so far.
Thanks.
I also had a question about the chia seeds. I think for certain, or I've read some places that seeds in general can flare up symptoms in people that have certain autoimmune diseases or issues like shingles and things of that family. Um, so I'm wondering, because chia seeds are like in everything and they're so good for you, but I guess because they're a seed, they're not good for certain types of issues. Do you have any recommendation for what else could, right? Because it has like a lot of fiber too. Like what else could be, what's a good substitute?
Yeah, so I like other substitutes could be like for the seeds. One is like just adding avocado. That can be another way to just like make it creamy, but also adding more fats to it. And another thing you could do too is like adding like coconut milk. Like that will be like another way to add like more fat to your dish. I know a lot of times like seeds and nuts are kind of like in the same line. Like I know for the autoimmune protocol, say like it's like avoiding seeds and nuts. So if nuts are okay, then you could just like maybe like you could add nuts instead. Um, like walnuts, like that's a nut that's really that's as high in omega-3s, which is what like we're really getting from like our chia seeds and our flax seeds is omega-3. So like walnuts could be another option. And then again,
Awesome.
that's what comes to mind.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Okay, cool. And then also to just adding like the cauliflower and the zucchini too can just like help with them. Is it kind of like adding like the more like the bulkiness that we're getting from like the seeds or kind of making that creaminess. And now I'm just gonna add some water to this. I was adding about like 3 cups of water. Just kind of want to get like maybe at least like half of it covered with water. And we can always add more water too. I didn't remember I put my lid. Okay, well, it's right here. I'm gonna turn it on now. I just got out a few jars. So I blended it in my blender. My blender has like a smoothie setting that I used. So it just blends it really fast. I think for a little less than a minute. I stopped it about 10 seconds early. And we can see here, it is like really, it's pretty thick. So this can depend on your preference if you want your smoothie like on the thicker side or just like more watery. But and he also gets that really pretty color. So this is, yeah, I'll taste it too for you all, but, you can see how much it makes too. So I added in here about like, I tried to add about 3 cups of water. I was eyeballing it, but you can see we have leftover in the pitcher, but also it goes to the top of this. So this is about like, I think like 32 fluid ounces when it's like filled high up, like this mason jar. So we got a lot of it from this. So this is really depends on your preference, like with Dr. Goldner and hypernourishment. And she talks about like having like 64 fluid ounces of like smoothie. So this is about 32. So you could have this or also like split it with someone or have it throughout the day. So this is about like half of what she recommends, but we can see we got a lot from that. And that was about 2 small pieces of beets and also cauliflower and then some berries.
Do you save this if you don't drink the whole thing? Like, do you just put it in the fridge?
Yeah, I saved mine. I'll show you that.
How long does it last for usually for you?
Um, she recommends like consuming it within 24 hours, but preferably like immediately.
Okay.
So I've done 24 hours too. Like I've like made a bunch, like even yeah, like practicing these recipes for today and like had them in the fridge and then like had them like the next day and stuff. So I find
Okay.
sometimes they separate a little bit, but it's fine. And I like to use these. These are plastic tops. I like to add if you're using mason jars at least. I like to add these like when I use the metal mason jars, these become like oxidated and they get like
Mm-hmm.
rusty. But these have been really nice and yeah, I like using these if I don't finish it and then I just put it in here like this.
Where do you get the lids?
I got
Just
these
Amazon?
from Amazon.
Okay. So you just type in lids. Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, they always get oxidized and gross, and then it like leaches into the content.
Yeah, I don't like when that happens and yeah, because if it gets so wet and it just happens, but these lids have been like a game changer for me. I definitely recommend them. And then yeah, here's this like first one. I think this is really good. It's pretty thick, so you might want to add like a bit more water. So if you add more water, you'll get even more than this. So you could definitely have like leftovers and you're getting like over 400 grams of cruciferous vegetables. And it tastes good. And it just using like not really we've just had some like berry and also the beets too are like naturally more sweet. And so this is our first one. And then you taste a little bit of the earthiness from the beets, but it's really mild. And I think that a lot of that gets like de-emphasized with the lemon and the mint too. So
It looks really good.
here's some, I just love the color of beets. It's just so pretty.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So let's put this to the side. I was expecting like so much extra, so I'll put some more in a jar too. And now I'm just gonna rinse this a little bit for our next smoothie. Okay, so now we'll get into our second recipe for today, and that one yeah we're gonna make we'll make a kale one. And another tip for making your smoothies like not be like so bitter when we're using like our dark leafy greens or cruciferous vegetables, one option is just to remove the stem. Like sometimes like the stem makes it just taste like a bit more bitter. So that's like another tip for this. So all of this here is about like half a pound of vegetable. Should feels like a little more than that. I'm gonna double check. Yeah, it's not like half a pound. It's not so, but it was about like it's like 18 ounces. Just pretty heavy. But,
Oh, so that's more than a pound then, right?
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of confused. I thought, yeah.
Yeah, because the 16 ounces is 1 pound.
Oh, this is 8. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
But it feels pretty heavy though. Maybe because it's like the volume. Like it. I don't know. So for this one, we could just, so we can peel it to add it. I don't, usually like, I don't remove the stems, or it kind of depends on like how I'm feeling. If I get kale like in a bag, like from the supermarket, there's like big bags. I don't remove the stem. If I'm just adding it to a smoothie, I'll just pour it all in. But if I have these like long pieces, like I find it easier to remove the leaves, and that's just kind of, yeah, that's just like a personal preference. Like I just do that.
So what is that? Is that kale?
Yeah, this is kale here.
Okay.
And we'll make a smoothie with this one too. Yeah, I love adding kale to smoothies as well. And that's something that Dr. Goldner talks about, but like kale's like often like called like a super food. And yeah, it really is. With all the vitamins and minerals and like calcium. It's really incredible. I'm just noticing the time now. So I know what I think it's ends at 11:30 or at half past. So I'll make this quickly, but also if you want to, you can like hang around, but also I'll finish all this and share all the recipes and stuff with you all too. If you have to go. But after this, I'll make a collard green one too. So just removing it from the stem. You can just really push this down here. So this is our kale. And for this one, I'm also going to be adding some apple, like Granny Smith apple. So I was chopping that up. This is to add some sweetness to it.
So you keep all the skins on?
Yeah, I don't peel my apples. Yeah, I don't peel them usually at all. So I just keep the skin on.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't notice like a taste or a change with them.
And it adds fiber.
Yeah, it adds up too.
And I think lots of the nutrition is in the skin. or the,
Yeah.
yes.
So you may have said this earlier and I might have missed it, but do you only use or buy organic produce for this? I mean, especially if you use the skin,
Sorry, the last part.
uh, especially since you leave the skin on.
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, I usually I try to buy organic, but I like to use like there's like the Daily Dozen. I think it's by the Environmental Working Group, and they have like a list that they recommend of like what foods you should like always buy organic or try to always buy organic, and like so it's called the Dirty Dozen. So I try to follow that one, and then yeah, it's like the best that I can, just like trying to buy organic.
Mm-hmm.
But I like to like really follow like that list, and then yeah, from there I'll but I do like buying organic, but even though it's like I don't always use organic food, like I think a lot of these ingredients here are organic, but I just even if it's not, like I don't necessarily still peel it, but that's a good question. I haven't looked into that too much. Like yeah, you've heard that like if it's not organic, it's like more important to peel it.
Yeah, in some instances, but you're right. I've looked at that list too, and like I think they say what doesn't get sprayed with pesticides are like avocados, so you don't have to buy those organic. But obviously you don't eat the skin, you don't eat that skin. But
Yeah.
like tomatoes or like other types of things, it's definitely important to take the skin off. Yeah, I'm not sure of the whole thing, but yeah, I was curious if that was something you factored into your smoothie making.
Yeah, like for like the berries, like I like to get like those like organic. I can usually get those like because the berries are like, usually just really expensive, but I found that the frozen ones can be cheaper, and you can buy cheaper. You can buy them organic, and I know like or like berries on that list because they have like a thin skin, and yeah, you eat the skin. And also like dark leafy greens, just like greens are on that list too.
Mm-hmm.
But I've like also heard that like if food you can peel, yeah, it's like not so much of a warning.
Yeah, and then there's like other foods that it doesn't matter if you peel it because the pesticide goes through the whole food anyway. So yeah.
Yeah. And I just added some carrot to this too, just to like, add some more vegetable. I added I think I just got I just cut up just like two like kind of like medium sized, small sized carrots. I have the apple in here. I just squeezed the juice of one lemon. And I'm going to also add is a banana to here too. A frozen banana. I actually got this mixed up with the collard green ones. I'm not gonna add a banana to this one, but I'm just gonna add a little bit of mango, just about like a quarter of a cup. Maybe like a handful of frozen mango. And sometimes if it ends like being on the sweeter side, I might just like add some more greens to it or something. This one, yeah, has an apple and some mango in it and some carrots, so we'll see. Might be like a little bit on the sweeter side, but maybe like instead of like adding the apple, could have just been like the mango. I'm just gonna add some water. And something else I'm adding to this too is I'm adding a little bit of turmeric, like fresh turmeric root, and also I'm gonna add about an inch of fresh ginger too. And ginger,
And
sorry?
sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, just I'm adding them because they're known for their also their anti-inflammatory properties.
Do you add black pepper to activate the curcumin and the turmeric?
Yeah, I was about to add some black pepper right here.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I like to add black pepper too. And also I'm gonna add some like flax too, so we get some like fat in here. Just a
What
little
is
bit.
that you're adding now?
I'm just adding some flax.
Flax, okay.
I think adding the flax to your smoothie is a good idea because the turmeric, even though the black pepper activates the ingredient in the turmeric, your body doesn't really use it. It clears it very fast if you don't eat turmeric with a fatty diet. So
Yeah.
yeah, so even though you can add it, because I did the same thing and then I found out, wait, I actually worked with the ingredient in turmeric and I realized it doesn't dissolve very easily in water. So your body clears it immediately. So unless you have a habit with a fatty food, your body won't really use it. You just basically excrete it.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, like it's like and that's yeah, it's so incredible because yeah, the curcumin's so important, but it's like we could just not even like taking advantage of all of its benefits. So it's like eating some fat and also some like black pepper can really increase like our body's absorption. I forget like the percentage, but it's like it makes it just so much more bioavailable.
Maybe do it with more avocado.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like can be like and it could be like any fat you like, or if you want to use coconut milk. I've also like heard too, just like even like kind of eating just like some nuts with maybe your turmeric ginger tea too, like ways to just get more of the curcumin. Um, I'm just gonna blend this one up. Okay, so I just blended this, our kale one, and I'll try this. So this made a bit more. So you can see it's like we have our green kale color and yeah, this one says kale, carrots, flax, mango, and also make apple.
Does this one have a banana or no?
There's no banana in this one.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll use a banana in the next one. Yeah, sorry, misspoke. So the banana will be in like the collard green one, but you could use banana. Like all these fruits are interchangeable. Like I think like color is important, and I know like we eat also with our eyes. So I definitely do think a lot about my color combinations. Like if it's gonna be like a berry one, like maybe really trying to keep it like yeah, just like kind of being aware if like I'd be more likely to add like cauliflower or beets like to like a berry smoothie just to keep it that like pink or bluish purple color. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
or also sometimes like I don't really care about the color too, but it's like can be fun. So this one's like more green. And yeah, I think this is really delicious. I like the ginger, the turmeric in it. I think yeah, I really think you could like pick between the apple and the banana or the apple and the mango or add both. Like it's has like a tart flavor. Yeah, this is really good too. And yeah, it's a great way to just get like so many more greens in. And this made a lot too. So I'm gonna pour some in here as well. So we almost got like two of these. This is like 3/4 full. And that was from this recipe. So a lot of green smoothie. So this can be multiple servings or just saving some in the fridge or just eating it. To the side. And I know we're going over, so time, if you have to go, definitely feel free to drop off. Yeah. I apologize for going over them.
Yeah, I have to drop off, but it was nice meeting everybody, and thank you so much. That was awesome. I appreciate it.
Okay, I'm glad. Yeah, it was great. It was great meeting you. Yeah, and I'll send all the recipes and stuff too after. And
Oh,
I'm
great.
just
I
gonna
can't.
make the colored one. It's gonna be really the same, but I'll message it to you. Yeah.
Okay, I appreciate it. Can't wait to try it. Take
Thanks.
care, everybody.
Bye. So for a colored one, I'm adding some frozen zucchini. And I'm also gonna add, this is about also 1/2 pound of collard greens. These ones, I got them from the supermarket and they weren't destemmed and they're also pieces, so I'm not gonna destem them, but you can. I don't really, the taste doesn't really bother me, I don't really notice it, so, yeah, I'm fine with just leaving the stems in. We have a bunch of collard greens in here right now.
And I'm sorry, did you say frozen zucchini?
Yeah, I froze the zucchini like last night, just diced it and froze it.
Okay.
Just to kind of like, add some more creaminess to it and
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
And now I'm gonna add the juice of the lemon too to this. To just like cut the taste. And then I'm also going to, so I'm adding the juice of a lemon to cut the taste. And then I'm gonna add some flax. And you could also add like turmeric or curcumin to this if you'd like to. And then I'm gonna add some banana.
Is your banana like pre-cut, like that frozen banana?
Yeah, I have it right here. Actually, I used like an old bag. I have like my banana. I have it. I froze it in pretty big pieces, but just like
Oh,
this.
okay. Okay. Because I thought that you purchased the frozen banana. I freeze my own bananas.
Yeah, I like to freeze mine. I have like these in like I've been freezing, and then I have two over here that I like wait for them to get really ripe.
Okay. Oh, I
And
thought what you were adding previously was the banana.
oh, I just did. Oh, this is just some bananas I have ripening on the side of
What
my.
was what was that other bag you had just now
Oh, it's like
before?
it says mango. I just reused a plastic bag, but it has banana in here.
Oh no, before this, you had another bag.
Oh, this was ground flax.
Oh, gotcha. Thank you.
Yes, this ground flax I do have just like also whole flax that can put in here, but I just have this bag that I'm finishing up too. And yeah, I think that's the main stuff. I just put a banana in here. Sometimes like I'll also add apple. We can add apple today too. But all these ingredients, when we're talking about like low sugar, it can really just be anything can be like omitted or added too. Like Dr. Goldner talks about like, yeah, the whole like 25% of it having fruit in it and 75% greens. This might be kind of on like the higher end for fruit, but if we're following her recommendations right now, but I think it's pretty good. So yeah, it's mostly greens. I guess I have this like one layer up here and then it's mostly greens down here. And she
When sorry,
sorry.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and she recommends too, like adding enough water to like cover the greens, and then blending it. But yeah, what were you saying?
When you're making your smoothies, so I do know about the 75% leafy greens, but when you're making the ones with the cruciferous vegetables, are you still following that logic?
Yeah, I try to.
Okay.
So usually if I like making like say I was making a bunch of different smoothies, but usually if I'm like just making like one smoothie kind of like for my day or something, I'd add like a lot more greens and like try to pack it down more. But then
Do you
amount.
ever
Mhm.
do you ever do like the leafy greens and the cruciferous vegetables
Yeah,
and the fruits?
yeah, like I don't have any spinach right now. I do have some arugula, but like I would sometimes like I might add spinach to it too. Like
Okay.
that beet one, I was thinking I could have like added spinach to it. It really depends on like what I have on hand, but I like having cruciferous vegetables always on hand because they'll last a lot longer, like in the
Thank
fridge.
you.
That's like a big thing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Blend this up. Okay, so just I just finished blending up this one. And you can see, so this one's a green one, so pretty similar to like the kale one. Like a few of the ingredients are different, but you can really just interchange anything to fit your preference or also what you have on hand. And I'll try this one. I think this is really delicious too. Yeah, it's not super sweet, but we have like a banana in here and an apple. But also we got like half a pound of kale and also the zucchini, or sorry, collard greens, and also the zucchini. Another thing you can do too that Dr. Bullner talks about is like you can add, if you want, like those like kind of green powders. Like I've added like spirulina or wheatgrass or like moringa powder to my smoothies. Like I've gone through phases where I didn't add them, but I started like adding them again, and yeah, they taste like with here, it really also kind of masks the taste. They have a really grassy taste, but when you add them to these smoothies, I think especially the first or the second one with the mango and that apple, that was a bit more tart and sweet. Like adding the greens powder to that would be good too. And the greens powder is just like, just more like vitamins and nutrients. And like I know like spirulina, you can get more amino acids from it, and then like moringa powder is known for its like anti-inflammatory benefits as well. And yeah, I see like the time. So thanks so much for staying over. I'm sorry that we went over, but thanks so much for being here and all your questions and participation. And like I've learned a lot, and I'm really glad to be able to connect with you all and make some smoothies together.
It's okay. Thanks so much. This was amazing. And I'm definitely gonna be trying these recipes out. It looked delicious.
Okay, I'm glad. Yeah, it'd be cool to do like an in-person meetup where we can also make all these like smoothies together and stuff one day. But yeah, I'm glad. Let me know how it turns out. Yeah, it was great
I
seeing you,
will.
Trudy,
Thank
Karen,
you.
Angelica. Thank you. Yeah, have a
Thanks,
great
Rebecca.
weekend. Of course, it's great to see you again.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Till the next time.
Till next time. Yeah, thanks, Tree, for all your tips too. I definitely need to add some infused herbs and stuff to my liquids. Thank you.
No problem. Anytime.
Take care. Bye.
Thanks. Bye bye.